Hey folks, Colin Richards here. I am so excited to be talking to you today about the key pillars of a happy and successful life. We began this a couple segments ago, and I really want to continue and go deeper on our discussion because the people I'm talking to all the time in our offices and out in public when I'm speaking are wanting to be free. They want to be financially free to do the things that they love with the people that they love. And I believe that that really involves faith, family, fitness, and finance. Faith, family, fitness, and finance. Today, we're going to really drill in on the third of those, fitness. And the reason I'm going to bring that out is because it doesn't matter really how much money you have if your health and wellness do not support the things that you really want to do, and you don't have the financial ability to support your health, then it's all going to come crumbling down. So at the bottom of everything is financial independence. So what we do at Lord & Richards is we help you become financially independent so you can do the most important things in your life without limitation and do amazing things for God with the resources that He's put at your disposal. So as we dig into this third pillar, really, the pillar of fitness, or what we might say health and longevity, I'm going to talk about how important it is to get some foundational pieces in place. You know, I'm not getting any younger. None of us are. But as I move into that next phase of life where the aches and pains become a little bit more prominent, where maybe I can't do things at the level that I used to be able to without pain or difficulty, it becomes so much more important at this stage in life to begin to focus in on this pillar of fitness. And our premise at Lord & Richards is that if you have financial independence, if you have the financial wherewithal, and it doesn't matter so much about what your income is, but it matters what your plan says you can do. Because if you don't have a written plan, you're taking shots in the dark. You may be spending money on things that you can't afford, or you may be holding back when you could be putting your resources to better use in improving the quality of your life. I've talked about this before, but most people I'm talking to cringe when I ask, hey, how would you like to live in your 90s or beyond? And the reason for that isn't because people are afraid of longevity. They're afraid of living an unhealthy life in their later years, to be bound to a wheelchair, not able to perform the activities of daily living that are so important to getting around, and even more so to do more than just be able to feed or dress yourself, but to be active and to have a full life. And so many of us visualize that as not being possible when we get into those super advanced years. But what if it was possible to maintain our strength with our age? What if it was possible to not see catastrophic drops in our strength and vitality? We know that the normal process of aging, if we don't get in front of it, is going to begin pulling back on our lives. We might not notice it in our 30s, but it starts happening then. And it becomes more noticeable in our 40s, 50s, and of course beyond. Here's a wonderful blessing that the prophet Moses, of all people, gave to the tribe of Asher at the end of life when he was pronouncing his final blessings. Now keep in mind, Moses himself lived all the way to 120. And the Bible says that he didn't experience any loss of vision, nor did he experience any loss of strength, all the way to 120. So God had given him tremendous vitality. He said to Asher, this whole tribe of Israel, based on the son of Jacob, Asher, Deuteronomy 33:23, as your days, so will your strength be. As your days, so will your strength be. In other words, God told the whole tribe, the whole family of Asher, I'm going to make your strength equal to the days that I give you. You're not going to wind down and fall apart. That is a wonderful promise, not just to have a long life, but to have the strength to match it. Think about it here in our modern age. What if you could go, for long walks with your children, or hiking on the trails, or maybe even snowboarding? I just today heard of a 70-plus-year-old that is still snowboarding with their children. Maybe mountain sports aren't your thing. Maybe you enjoy riding bicycles or even dirt biking like my wife's parents did with us right into their 70s, or just horsing around, or speaking of horses, riding horses, being active. So often we get into our late 60s and 70s and we have this common mentality, that it's the go-go years when we're in our 60s. I've heard this presented so many times. And then as we get a little bit older, it starts to be the slow-go years. And then finally we get to the point where it's the won't-go. Maybe one spouse is still active and vital and the other is kind of stranded, stuck. We don't want that to happen. And so in our next segment, I'm going to be talking to you about some of the foundational pieces we all need to have in our life in order to extend vitality to match our longevity. Vitality should match longevity. Now, of course, we know that there's things like illness and disease, but of course, there are things that we can do to be preventative in those areas. And so I'm going to start with some principles that I learned from one of the greatest, if not the greatest, quarterbacks in NFL history. Now, as a Broncos fan, I've never been too excited about this particular quarterback from a playing standpoint, but I am excited to share with you how he has stayed at the top of his game, how he has maintained his personal physical strength long past other athletes, and how you can implement some of the same strategies. So check us out in our next segment where I'm going to be talking about the pillar of fitness, pliability. The pillar of fitness, pliability. Well, in the meantime, what this is all about at Lord & Richards, we don't have a gym at our offices, or when we're meeting together with Zoom, we're not doing aerobics with you on the screen. But what we are doing is helping you build a financial foundation that will support your personal goals, whatever those goals may be. I think faith, family, fitness, and finance are really important, but you may have other things that are really important to you that are specific that you want to achieve, and it's going to take money to do those. Maybe it's spending more time with the people that you love, taking more trips, taking advantage of the latest innovations in health to improve your overall well-being. Whatever it is, that's what we do at Lord & Richards every day. And we're not doing it the same way everybody else is doing it. We help you build a specific plan to help you become financially independent. That means independent of ever having to go back to work again. I would love to talk to you about how to do that, how to put that into place in your life. It just starts with a simple phone conversation.